that a big loss for you, do you think? I mean, that's a guy who started some games for you at the end of the year.
Well, I think it is, from that standpoint. But we had kind of moved forward, as you can tell, by not having him here in camp, and so from that point, it worked. We didn't want to invest a lot of time in guys that we weren't sure whether they were going to be here. And now all of a sudden, we'd be sitting here today going, now what do we do? So the blow is not as big, I think, because of the way that we've done it.
How about the return of Simmons? I mean, for a group at least that's got some guys named up, he's been around for a while.
Yeah, it is good. It's good, especially on special teams as well. Anytime that your numbers are where ours are at, every small win we can get, is big. So we had a lot of long talks today with him. We get about he's fortunate to have made it, and hopefully that was a wake up call for him.
Is there concern that he hasn't done any tackling?
Well, yeah, but we can't do anything about it. So it is what it is. We'll just push forward, and once he passes his period of AC period, then we'll tackle with him. We'll do some extra stuff like we did today.
So will you go through meetings tonight and all that kind of the whole routine?
We will, just from a format standpoint. We just like doing that for kids that have never done it, whether they redshirted last year or new kids. So all of a sudden they're not, it's not Hawaii, and all of a sudden they've never done it. So we just try to simulate as many things as we can.
Robert's been back for about 3 weeks now. With 8 days until Hawaii. I was wondering what your assessment of him, where he is.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
Rob Woods.
I think Robert's in very good shape right now. I feel pleased where he's at. He's not perfect, but he won't do much tomorrow, and we'll come back Sunday and see where he's at.
Of the receivers that you've worked with, I was wondering sort of what makes Robert stand out amongst them, throughout your Vision career.
Well, I think Robert's the way that Robert goes about his work on and off the field. He's a phenomenal competitor. He's not the most talented of those guys. He's definitely not the biggest. He's not going to test the best. If you take all of his tests, weight room tests, but he's such a competitor that he rises. He's put up those numbers because of that.
How helpful has Ross been to this linebacking core now? He's a graduate assistant or something.
Yeah, probably more special teams. We've used Ross in both, but we've used him a lot in special teams. And Ross is very unique. He's probably the only person in our building that could explain our offensive, defense, and special teams to you, because he did all three. So he's very valuable. I think he'll be a really good coach someday.
Could you do that? Could you do that?
I could not do the special teams as well as he does. No,
With as much as you know about Norm, how much guesswork is going into the Hawaii game with transition players and all that? How much do you know about next week's game?
Well, I think what we've tried to really do is focus on ourselves, and I think sometimes in openers you can get caught up in what they may do. And so we've really tried to make sure we're not doing that, especially on defense, and just make sure that we're getting really good at what we do and not trying to figure out what they do, because you really don't know.
One last one.
Have you heard anything on Darius Rogers? This is Friday.